Hey there guys, in this session we're going to do a quick lesson looking at the os.rename function. What I'm going to do is rename a couple of these files here and show you how to catch the condition where perhaps a file doesn't exist without raising a file not found error. So what I'm going to do is just show where I am. So if I hit ls here, I'm in this stuff folder. I've got hello.txt, yes csv and yes.txt. And what I'm going to do is first show you how rename works and then show you how to avoid the situation where perhaps a file doesn't exist. So what I'm going to do is do current and keep this as an empty string here, like that. And then let's do new is equal to some other item here. So the way os.rename works generally takes two arguments. So you're basically going to say, give me a source file to look for first. So I'm going to say current. The next argument is then, what do you now want to rename this file as? It's going to be new. And this is an in-place operation, so it doesn't really return anything. You're not going to do something like blank equals os rename and then use that item. In this case here, what I'm going to do is simply say current is now going to be called new. So I'm going to rename this. So I'm going to pass in hello.txt and let's go ahead and rename this to goodbye.txt. Okay, hit run. And there we go, just like this. Just show you that nothing's really returned. If I do x is equal to this, and then go ahead and do print x, I'm going to change this back to hello just for a second. Hello.txt, hit run, and we get none. So it's not returning anything, so you can't really use this x value here. So whenever you use this, you're going to always be doing it like this here. Now to show you one of the common kind of pitfalls, if I run this now, because hello.txt is now gone, it's now goodbye.txt, and we hit this, we get this file not found error here. And if you were to try and get around that, what you could do is do try, so try and do the rename. However, if you get and hopefully my VS Code should do this, if we get this, then we could do some kind of f string to basically say blank does not exist. And in this case, we will do current, because current is the file that we're trying to rename here. So if I do try and do this, however, if it's not found, go off and just tell me that it does not exist. So if I clear the terminal, helps us out clear correctly, and hit run, we get this here. Or let's go ahead and do an else. So this would be in the case where we did find it and it's fine. So we could say blank is now blank, and we'll pass in current here, and then we'll pass now there. Oh sorry, not now, new. And let's go ahead and change this back to hello.txt, just like that. Hit run, and there we go. Hello.txt is now goodbye.txt. Now if you open this here, this had some content I put in earlier, so the content is still there, that's good to go. So in a nutshell, that's os.rename. It takes in two things: the file you want to change and the name you then want to change it to. I've also showed you how you can use a try except else to basically say, if this rename failed because the file was not here, then, okay, yep, catch it, and then print, okay, that file did not exist. However, the else can come along and say, actually, if the try went ahead fine and we didn't raise this error, go ahead and just print that, yep, this file is now being renamed to this. A few pitfalls to notice, of course, because I'm in the same directory as these files here. So, you know, these files are somewhere else, especially in VS Code, you might want to right click them, copy the full path and do something like this here. So if these files are, say, in a few different folders away, you definitely want to be using, in this case here, your paths to be looking like this. So if I was to do that again here, I'll show you before we finish. Let's change this to hello, for example, like this. So if I hit run now, it does not exist, but now let's go ahead and do a rename it to hello. So with the absolute path, that's going to work absolutely fine. So just for to be aware of, if these are in the same directory, you can just pass in the file name. If they're elsewhere, go ahead and use the absolute path. Cheers for watching guys, and have a great week.